In our world, it seems like almost everything has a price, from luxury yachts to plots of land on the moon. But some beings of nature do not belong to the rules of money, ownership, or trade. They are not collectible items, not investments measured by price, not ordinary possessions to be bought and sold. What protects them is not armies, bureaucracy, or billionaire wealth, but the much older, much stricter laws of nature itself. These are not only the most priceless creatures of our planet, they are the rarest, the most pursued, and genetically almost impossible to replace. To understand why even someone like Elon Musk cannot buy or protect them, let us begin with a blue lobster, and explore the 10 most valuable creatures on Earth. But first, a small request: if you enjoy this, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you. That morning, off the chilly waters of Maine, a weathered fishing boat was pulling its nets as usual. The crew, used to the sea's ordinary gifts, expected nothing unusual. But among their catch gleamed a creature so extraordinary, it seemed almost unreal, a lobster glowing with a bright electric blue. Not dull, not faded, but shining as if it carried its own light. Scientists estimate the chance of such a lobster appearing at about 1 in 2 million. A rare genetic mutation that changes the way proteins reflect light in the shell. For the fisherman, however, one fact was clear: he held in his hand something worth $500,000. News spread quickly. Research centers and aquariums rushed to react. Rumors circulated of an Asian collector offering $500,000 for the living lobster. But there was a problem: was it even legal to sell? Could it survive transport? Biologists insisted on protecting its life. Officials warned about the risks of moving it. In the end, the lobster was taken to a marine sanctuary, placed in a temperature-controlled tank, sealed behind glass, and monitored around the clock. Nobody touched it. It was not food, not a pet, but a living specimen, perhaps the only of its kind. Yet, no one said this out loud: the blue lobster is harmless. It doesn't kill, it doesn't protect, it cannot serve as a ruler's prize. What guards it is not weapons or security, but its rarity. And this is the key message of our documentary: rarity makes headlines, but danger creates power. And as we continue through our list, the next creature will show this truth even more clearly. The next animal is more than just expensive, it is raised with luxury and prestige, pampered beyond imagination. The Tibetan Mastiff, once a warrior, a guardian, a creature of the high plateaus, today sleeps on silk sheets, fed Wagyu beef, and chauffeured in Bentleys. This is not merely a dog, it is a symbol of wealth and status. During China's economic boom of the 2000s, these dogs became the collectibles of millionaires. In 2014, a single red Tibetan Mastiff was sold for nearly $2 million. Owners hired security escorts, built velvet-lined kennels, and spent fortunes on their care. Later, when the government cracked down on luxury excess, the trade moved underground, prices hidden behind closed palace doors. The Mastiff is no longer just a pet, it is a living relic, a luxury trophy. But unlike the Tibetan Mastiff, our next animal does not obey commands. It never bows to anyone's will. Once traded for the price of a private jet, it is not just a horse, but a symbol of lineage and pride, the white Arabian horse. Descended from desert royalty, these horses were once exchanged by kings for lands and treasure. Today, in Dubai, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia, fortunes are spent on climate-controlled stables, biometric monitoring, and round-the-clock care. The focus is no longer conquest, but perfection, and especially breeding rights. Pairing the right stallion with the right mare can create bloodlines worth tens of millions of dollars. These horses are not merely animals, they are genetic capital. Now, our journey grows darker. The next creature is not about wealth or prestige. It is so small it could sit in your palm, and yet a single touch can stop the human heart. The poison dart frog. Shimmering with alien-like colors, these frogs produce skin toxins strong enough to paralyze or kill. For centuries, indigenous tribes of South America coated their hunting darts with this poison, striking down prey instantly. Today, the very same alkaloids are invaluable to science. Their chemistry holds potential for powerful painkillers and neurological drugs. 1 gram of toxin can be worth thousands of dollars in a lab. But harvesting is dangerous and breeding in captivity is nearly impossible. On the black market, prices soar, along with fears of military or criminal misuse. Some creatures, however, are no longer part of our daily world, yet remain priceless even in memory. The northern bald ibis, once common across Europe, the Middle East, and North Africa, was revered in ancient times, sacred and symbolic. But human pressure and habitat loss pushed it to the brink of extinction. Today, every single egg is tracked, genetically catalogued, and monitored with precision. In 2019, when an egg disappeared from a reserve, it triggered an international investigation. On the black market, such an egg could fetch up to $50,000. This event proved that once a species becomes critically rare, biology turns into politics. The giant panda, on the other hand, represents a different kind of rarity: diplomacy. Every panda in the world technically belongs to China. The pandas in foreign zoos are not gifts, but loans, part of a carefully managed program called panda diplomacy. These gentle giants are more than just animals, they are living ambassadors. A single panda can shift relations between nations. When one is recalled, it can signal political tension. And when one is sent abroad, it represents friendship worth millions. But some creatures are too fragile to be shared. Albino alligators, for instance, are almost impossible to keep alive without constant care. They are extremely sensitive to sunlight, nearly blind, and prone to illness. Only about 15 are known in the entire world. To keep them alive requires UV-shielded enclosures, constant monitoring, and specialized diets. In 2021, one nearly sold for $400,000, but the deal collapsed due to the risk of transport and legal complications. Owning an albino alligator demands not just wealth, but near total control over artificial environments. Other creatures come not alone, but in colonies, and that makes them an investment of a different kind. The queen bee. Carefully bred queens, chosen for disease resistance and high productivity, can transform an entire beekeeping operation. Ordinary queens sell for hundreds of dollars. But the most elite bloodlines? They can reach tens of thousands. These queens are shipped with passports, microchips, and strict biosecurity. Because the right queen can mean millions in honey and pollination. To steal such genetics is to steal an empire. Then comes majesty itself, the golden tiger. Not white, not ordinary orange, but shimmering gold, a result of a rare recessive genetic mutation. Fewer than 30 are believed to exist. They are not shown in public parks. They are hidden, in royal collections, behind armed guards, inside heavily fortified estates. Deals involving golden tigers are whispered in secrecy, involving armored convoys, gold bullion, and political influence. Their price? Beyond money, they are treasures of bloodline and prestige. And finally, we reach the creature that no amount of money can buy. The vaquita, the world's rarest marine mammal. Only about 10 are believed to remain, in the northern part of the Gulf of California. Barely 1.5 meters long, weighing around 45 kilos, with dark rings around its eyes, the vaquita looks innocent, fragile. But its reality is tragic. In 1997, there were around 600. By 2015, fewer than 100. Today, almost none. Unlike other animals on this list, the vaquita cannot be kept in captivity. Attempts to house them ended in immediate death from stress. They cannot be bred, bought, or displayed. The only chance of survival is to protect their habitat. But that habitat is plagued by illegal fishing of the totoaba fish. Its swim bladder, sold in China for up to $100,000 per kilo, drives fishermen to cast massive gill nets. And vaquitas, tragically, are entangled and drowned as bycatch. Activists patrol the waters, cutting nets, using drones and sonar to track the few survivors. But this is not enough. In 2019, rumors emerged of a collector offering $5 million for a live vaquita. It was denied, but the story revealed the ultimate truth: this species cannot be owned. Its value is not in money, but in existence. The blue lobster can be caught. The golden tiger can be guarded. The albino alligator can be protected in captivity. But the vaquita? The vaquita proves that wealth and power have limits. You cannot own it. You cannot move it. You cannot even save it with money. The only choice is simple: protect it, or lose it forever. And that is why the most valuable creatures on Earth are not those we can buy, but those we might lose.